3, 2, 1. Oh, yeah, that actually worked out perfect. Alrighty. That should be good. We have 1 on, 1 out here. Wheeler is the pitcher. The hitter is Torres, then Carpenter, Keith, Baez, McKinstry, Young, and Rogers. The runner at first is Green. Perez got out. And Gleyber Torres flies out 2 away. We're here in... Oh, wow. That's loud. Season in 2 weeks. Yeah, we're just about there. Inching ever closer. Closer and closer. Oh, it was a fielding error is how Riley Green reached. So we still don't have a hit in the game. Fouled away by Carpenter. All right. By the way, make sure you guys drop some likes. Help the stream out. Who's that? What team are you talking about? Oh, the Cavs? Oh, you should have said a team name. I was like, who's they? 1-1. It's a pretty good record. That's a pretty good record. If I was on the team, they'd be undefeated, but that's pretty good. That's pretty good. They could win the championship, eh? 1-2 now with the runner at first, 2 away. Nice, Seth. That's pretty cool. We got a 1-2. To Mr. Scary Carry. And he fouls another one away. We'll have another 1-2 count. To make the Celtics look poverty, and they are 48-19. Yeah, that's crazy. Second best team is that far behind. That's pretty bad. Seems like the Cavs are destined to win it all if they don't choke. Ball 2. Deuce now. 2 out. 1 on. What's up, Jonathan? How's it going? To everyone listening, make sure you drop a few likes to help the stream out. We've still only got 2. That means no one here has dropped a like yet on the stream, but that's okay. I kind of figured you people here were the no-likers, but that's all right. 2-2. That'll be a base hit by Kerry Carpenter. Runner over to third. 2 on now. 2 out. Hey, there we go. We're up to 3 now. We're doing pretty good. But yeah, make sure you guys drop likes, help the stream out, get some people in here early on. Those early interactions surely are key. What's up, Jake? I appreciate you. Let's see what Keith does. Ball 1 up high. Yeah, it's really windy where I'm at, but it's pretty nice otherwise. Like, it's super windy where I'm at, but other than that, it's not too bad. Why? You got him back on a cheap contract, a position of need. I imagine there are quite a few tornado problems across the country today. Missing inside. Basically in that whole south area. Are Louisiana And Mississippi, yeah, they are right by each other. Oh, shit. Looks like some runs. At least a run, anyway. No, 2 runs. He clears the bases. Keith with the 2-run double here. Runner at second, 2 away. 2-0 Tigers in the top half of the first. They are striking early here off Wheeler. Nice to see. Diamondbacks don't want none of this. They know they get beat bad if they had to play the Tigers. They'd be like, no, stop, please. Quit hitting, quit beating on Corbin Carroll. After we strike him out in 3 pitches every at-bat. He's never even hit the Tigers one time in his whole career. Not once. A ball and a strike here. First pitch a strike, second one a ball. 1-1. Yeah, but he's never hit a grand slam against us. Not once. 1-2 on a foul ball. Yeah, I was going to say there's wildfires in Oklahoma too. 7-5. I don't even know what you're talking about. No one knows what you're talking about. All I remember is never giving up a hit to Corbin Carroll. And Colt Keith grounds out. We'll head to the bottom half of the first inning. Oh, Bryce Harper's playing. Oh, that'll be interesting. Turner, Harper, and Bohm to lead it off. Turner, Harper, Bohm. Then Schwarber, Realmuto, Castellanos, Stott, Marsh, and Kennedy. We got the real lineup today, boys. I don't even know. Pretty sure that's fake news. So, take your CNN, MSNBC, Fox News, and get out of here. We'll start the year in AAA with how well Torque played. Maybe, I don't know. We need right-handed bats, so probably not. A lot of righties may be in for like a good benefit, especially ones like Malloy who can play the outfield, can play corner infield over at first, has a pretty solid like DH bat. I don't know. I feel like he's pretty safe. To me, the guys who are in trouble are like McKinstry, Kreidler, probably Jace Young to some extent. He hasn't really done much. Nice, Laura. What's up, Phil? Thank goodness cheaters are losing to Houston. Who are the cheaters? Wait, Houston's not the cheaters anymore? Who's the new cheater team? Ball 1 to Turner. Scooball is the pitcher for the Tigers, by the way. Yeah, we could use more likes. Help us out with those. As Phil said, we try to get 1,000 likes every stream. We're only like 20 away, so appreciate you if you can drop one. That'll be fouled away. It's 1-1 now. Okay, the Astros are losing. At some point, I mean, Malloy's hitting way better than Young. Young's OPS is almost like 400. It's really bad. I don't know if he's had a hit better than those 2 doubles he hit like in the first day of the spring training. I think he's had a bunch of like real weak singles since. I'm not too sure he's super safe. I'd say Malloy is a lot more safe than he is, but I mean, hell, they're not even playing Young at third base anymore when he plays. He's just DHing, which isn't a great sign. But I could be wrong, I suppose. We have this weekend of shoulder freedom, surgery on Thursday for your left shoulder, and then healing process with 4 to 6 weeks. That's not too bad. So what, in like 3-4 months, you'll be all cleared of whatever? Getting a new dog? What kind of dog? And Trey Turner strikes out 1 away. Here's Bryce Harper. One of the more terrifying hitters in all of the league. A guy who one time said, my name is Bryce Harper. He said that before. 4 to 6 months total. Yeah. Hopefully shorter, hopefully on the more short side, right? Ideally, anyway. Skubal is usually pretty good against lefties, so this is a fun matchup. By the way, it's 0-1. A dog with black spots? Hell yeah. What are you going to call him? Or her? Call it strike 2. Oh, he's about to strike out this guy. Put him away, Scoobs. Make mincemeat out of this mid-merchant. I just think with the improvement on defense, he's good. I mean, you could be right. It's just we have a lot of guys who can land like harpoon third base, and Harper gets a hit. Son of a bitch. Fucking asshole was probably throwing it right down the middle. The only annoying part about Tarek Skubal is sometimes he gets way too like into it, and he'll just start pumping balls right down the middle. What the fuck are you doing? It'll only happen once or twice a game where he just, for some reason, gets really into an at-bat and just tries to blow shit right by a guy. And it's like, man, if you'd have just continued to dance around a little bit, you'd have struck him out. Why'd you throw it like that? 1 on, 1 out. Here's Alec Bohm. It's workers' comp claim. Oh, okay. So that's pretty cool. At least you get the, at least you get money. You're right. You might be right, Jonathan. It'll be interesting to see what this final roster actually does look like. Do you think Carson makes the team because he has 2 home runs and Jackson Holiday? I have no idea, Lore. I couldn't tell you a thing about the Orioles roster. Maybe. All he's got to do is believe real hard. And the Lord will guide him in all that. And you know, if that's bad, then the devil's doing the best he can, and fuck him for trying. Laura, I don't follow your team, so I have no idea, you know? It's hard for me to make any kind of consideration for a team I don't follow. But God bless. God bless. They don't even play the same position, so I don't even know why one or the other has to make the team. Alec Bohm strikes out 2 away. That's also something that's confusing. Why would the shortstop situation impact the outfielder? Dylan Carlson's like a center fielder. I don't think him and Holiday are like, it's like, well, we have to have one or the other here. It's 2 totally different position groups, even infield, outfield. So I don't know if they both can make it. I don't think because of the positions they play, it's in either or. Now, if they were both shortstops, I don't know. I don't think you guys would have signed Dylan Carlson if he was a shortstop or infielder. You don't need those. He might make it over one of your other outfielders. 1-1. Carlson should be better than he is. But it looks like it's cool. Well, that's cool. I hope you enjoy your new dog. 1-2. 2 away, runners at first for Kyle Schwarber. You know, he looks nothing like in real, like in actual, he's like a weird picture taker because he doesn't look like that in real life. You know what I mean? Like some people take really odd pictures and they look nothing like they do inside of a camera. And I think Kyle Schwarber might be one of them people. And Skubal strikes out the side. We'll head to the top half of the second inning. Top 2. 2-0 Tigers. McKinstry, Young, and Rogers. Yeah, these 3 guys are having the worst spring on the team, basically. McKinstry, Young, and Jake Rogers. Rogers is completely safe because he's basically Scubal's personal catcher. Even if he doesn't catch a single other player on the team. Scubal is sort of like he won't really pitch to anybody but Jake unless Jake's injured or something. Cole bad from getting surgery. Garrett Cole. He'll go 4 or 5 probably. By the way, if you haven't dropped a like yet, consider doing so. It does help out our little stream here and get some more people here. I see we're up to about 9 likes. I appreciate that. We're almost in double digits. I appreciate everyone who's helping out. Good looking out. But we are waiting for the top of the second here to get underway. That's probably about right. It's either 4 or 5. I think it's more about pitch count. Right about 50 pitches is when guys start getting pulled out. And that's probably the right number. Yeah. Well, so far I've been right about the Yankees. Juan Carlos Stanton. It seems like he's going to try to rehab his elbows and just let the double UCL tear kind of scar over. Because again, he doesn't need to have surgery. He could have it and miss the season. However, if he just lets it scar over like Nolan Ryan did, he'll be perfectly fine. It's not like fucking Stanton pitches. They'll just have to change his swing a little bit so he's not ripping his elbows apart. You know, again, he's the first guy I've ever heard of doing that, by the way. But however he swings the bat, whoever did that to him it's completely wrong. I don't know what he was doing. You shouldn't tear both your elbows swinging a bat. That should almost be physically impossible because your elbows don't do that much movement. Like, especially your like bottom elbow. Like go pantomime swing a bat. Your bottom elbow just kind of stays bent up. Like the top one, there's like some action that happens, but it's only like bending and unbending because your wrist is breaking over. I guess both your elbows kind of bend because your wrists break. But like that shouldn't be enough to rip your elbows apart. And again, Stanton doesn't play defense, so I don't know where he would have tore his shit up at. 1-2, unless he's pitching for shits and giggles. Well, I guess that's possible, but the team wouldn't let him do that. Not to the duration or point where he'd tear his arms up. Yeah, probably. I don't know. Stanton could have been way better. The dude just like if the wind blows on him in like a weird angle, he gets hurt. He's quite literally made up of glass. He's a giant man made up. He's nothing. You know that SpongeBob episode where they have that guy who's all up in a cast and he gives that sad speech about having nothing of like his bones like break all the time and he's like paper bones and glass skin or paper skin and glass bones or whatever. That's that guy. He literally, if you look at him funny, he's out for 6 weeks. But like Stanton has so many fucking home runs somehow, despite missing all this time. It's like one of them things of like, if he had stayed healthy, he probably becomes the home run king. And that's about all he would have accomplished. Like, it's like the weirdest career I think I've ever seen in my life, where it's like, how many home runs does Stanton have? Giancarlo career 430. In 15, he's played 15 seasons, hit 430, and I bet you he's missed, I don't know, 5 or 6 seasons worth of injuries. Maybe almost half his career has been like weirdly injured. And he's at almost 500 home runs. To me, that's insane. McKinstry lines out 1 away. Strike 1 here to Jace Young. I always like to think about just home runs and stuff. For Mike Trout, he wouldn't be a Hall of Fame player if he wasn't at 400 home runs, basically. And I say that very confidently. Because there is this argument of what has ever happened because of Mike Trout? Absolutely nothing. Can you name off any of his accomplishments other than 3 MVPs? Is that I don't think he's a first ballot Hall of Famer, but the fact that he's got 400 home runs despite missing what feels like damn near half his career to injury, kind of changes the perspective and makes him a Hall of Famer a little bit. 2-1, but that's about it. The home run total for Trout is going to save his first ballot Hall of Fame status. Because nothing, I know other than that, it's been one of the most underwhelming fucking careers I've ever seen. 3-1, and he's got a bunch of empty stats that have meant absolutely nothing. Literally, his whole career could just have happened, and nothing, if you take away his whole career, the Angels, nothing changes. They just don't have Mike Trout. Isn't that crazy? Not a single thing would change for the Anaheim Angels if you just take out the career of Mike Trout from their franchise. Nothing. Is that a Hall of Famer? I don't know. You tell me. I guess they have 3. They have 3 more MVP. They have 3 less MVPs. 3-2 on Young. And Young flies out 2 away. Here's Jake Rogers. Top 2, Tigers lead 2-0. And again, that's not to disparage Mike Trout or anything like that. It's this sort of response to being told he's the greatest baseball player of all time, but his stats have not translated to anything. He accomplished nothing, and he was hurt most of his career. It's wow, that's real great. That's been one hell of a GOAT, I guess. I don't know. I've just always been criminally underwhelmed by Mike Trout. That'll be a ground out. And we'll head to the bottom of I wouldn't want my team to trade for him. Romuto, Castellanos, and Stott. I'd rather just keep the outfielders we have. Romuto, Castellanos, and Stott due up here in the bottom of the second. 2-0 Tigers, mainly because the cost of the player wouldn't be worth what we lose for what he produces as a player, which is nothing. You ever notice no one ever tries to trade for Mike Trout either? I know it's because he wouldn't accept the trade, but it's very telling that you don't ever hear teams clamoring to get Mike Trout. Isn't that crazy? I think the only team that would openly trade players for him is Philadelphia. And that's just because they really want Mike Trout. Because he's from Jersey or whatever. Again, if you can tell me I'm wrong, that's fine. You can disagree with me. But you'd have to come with some facts about all those World Series wins or a singular playoff win with Mike Trout. Did they got one of those? The Tigers have won more playoff games than Mike Trout has, I believe. And the post Jim Leland Tigers have won more playoff games than Mike Trout. Just process that. The fucking Detroit Tigers, a team that was winning 49 games a year for 3 straight years, and won. I don't even know if we won 100 games in 3 seasons. It won at the end of the Ron Gardenhire era. It was some pretty ass shit going on. We were just a little bit better than last year's White Sox for 3 straight years, and we've won more playoff games than Mike Trout. Yeah, I would imagine there's some issues with the internet, and I'm surprised my internet's not having any issues with how windy it is. Um, I don't know if it's like Mike Trout is a great player with unbelievable career stats. It just seems to not translate to anything. On a different team, Trout maybe has a World Series ring, but the Angels are also an incompetent franchise full of dumb people running it. So I don't know. The Mike Trout conundrum is one of the most fascinating things for me to talk about with baseball. Not everyone agrees, though. JT Realmuto grounds out one away. And I say it's fascinating for the sole fact that, like, he's clearly a great all-time player. I can't, what's going on, Backlash? Yeah, the Angels failed Trout 100%, but he could have left. Like, he could have gone to Philadelphia like any year he wanted to. The Phillies have like an open policy, like standing policy that they will trade for Mike Trout. It's like the weirdest thing going on where he could have multiple World Series by now, or be on a team that's more competitive. So the Angels didn't really do shit. They'd trade him if he asked. They'd do right by Mike. 100%. If Mike Trout asked them, hey, will you guys let me? They'd be like, yeah, Mike, we understand, buddy. It's like, so I don't think that like they never put like. And then they went and got like Albert Pujols. They went and got Anthony Rendon. They've done nothing but put like superstar players are on that fucking team around Mike Trout, and Mike Trout just gets hurt. I'm telling you, every time it's Mike Trout gets hurt, they put teams around that guy, especially earlier on in his career. They were putting like they went and got fucking Albert Pujols. Like, no, they tried. They put teams around him. They got Upton. They put teams around this dude. And in my opinion, he's failed. I don't know. His body is I don't Mike Trout is a fascinating thing to think about because again, later in his career, yeah, the Angels are doing nothing to put anything on that team now. But he chooses to stay there too. So he clearly feels like they're doing right by him. Uh-oh. Okay, I'm good now. 2 away, though, after Castellanos grounded out. It's 0-2 on Stott with 2 away. Yeah, they also had fucking Shohei Ohtani. 1-2. Now, when they got Ohtani, they just dropped the ball entirely. I will agree to that. The day they signed Ohtani, that team just gave up. I don't know what happened to the Angels after that. Bryson Stott strikes out, yeah, but like the second they signed Shohei Ohtani, they literally just gave up on building a team. It's like, what do you? It's like, man, if you guys would have just built a team up, look at what you just lost. Yeah. But I don't know. Trout could have gone to Philly, and I wonder why he never did. I don't know. Perez, Green, and Torres, top of the order for the Tigers. Yeah, we're up at 11 likes now. What are we at, actually? No, we're at 10 likes right now. It always adds an extra like. But hey, if you guys haven't dropped a like yet, consider doing so. It does help out the old stream here quite a bit. I'd appreciate it if you can. Top of the third coming up in just a second. It'll be Perez, Green, Torres. 2-0 Tigers. Top third. Most likely Wheeler will be back to work here. Tigers were abusing Wheeler in the first inning. The umpires actually whispered went over and talked to AJ Hinch, and AJ Hinch nodded and said, "We'll get the outs." And the Tigers then struck out in order to help the Angels out. Sorry, we're just talking about the Angels. Help the Phillies out. That's always my hottest take in baseball, that Mike Trout isn't as good as everyone says he is. It's not the right way, like phrasing, right? He isn't as all-time great as everybody says he is. I think that's the right way to say it. And my argument always lies on the empty statistics and the fact that he lacks longevity. And I feel like I'm right. Again, great player. One of the all-time, he's an all-timer to some extent, but Just seems like his play has no impact on the game. Like, remember the meme with the Angels a couple years ago? How like him and Otani would be doing things not seen since like the 1900s in like Major League Baseball, and then the Angels would lose like fucking 10-6. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, wow, Trout has no impact on this game, and like that's constant. Trout's always doing these crazy feats that have never been done before, or like it not. Last time this was done was in 1891 by Rolly Fingers or somebody like that. And it's like, what? And then it's like, and the Angels lose 110-0. It's like, well, what about Trout's home run? They lost the runs. How do you lose runs? 1921 rule. And it's like, what kind of weird rule? What are Angels games? What happens during these things? How does the best player in the league, like people claim, have no impact on this fucking game? 2-2. Going to be windy and 57 degrees today, and rain tomorrow, 58. That's not fun, Laura. It's it's super windy by me, but it's like 70 degrees. We hit a little warm spot here in Michigan. Pretty nice, pretty nice. We got a 2-2 count on Wencel Perez, Mr. Pencil Man. And he flies out, one away. Here's Riley Green. See what Riley does. He reached via error in his last at bat, later scored a run. Swings at a ball, it's 0-1. You know who feels like they've somehow lived up to their hype and then surpassed it is Bryce Harper. Sucks that he hasn't gotten to win the World Series yet, but I mean, I feel like for as good as he was hyped up to be, seems like he's been able to live up to that lofty standard. Lose over 100 games, like that was crazy thing. No, there's always teams that lose 100 games in baseball. There's always those couple teams that just, for whatever reason, just stink it up real bad. Last year was the White Sox. They were historically bad. 1-2. What up, Tiger Town? Another foul ball. We'll get another 1-2 for Green with one away. Yeah, kicking the shit out of them. They can't get us. These Philly freaks aren't ready for us. This is exactly what will happen if the Lions ever play the Eagles too. Domination. Riley Green gets caught looking, 2 away. Here's Gleyber Torres. Put the Tigers in the National League East, we win that division outright. Mid-A teams. Yeah, they were pretty bad out by me. I sleep really solidly, so not really, no. I just know it's been very windy. But I also have bad hearing, and I don't generally hear the wind. Unless I'm like outside. Or it's like fucking howling, like, woo, like that. Well, I also am like partially deaf. So, that's also like the thing, you know. Wind to me is a very silent thing unless it's like literally like legitimately howling. I never understood. Do you hear the wind? I'm like, no. What do you mean hear the wind? I feel the wind. Yeah, it's very windy. I feel it. But yeah, my ears don't work very good, dude. It's part of the reason I don't really care about music. Or it really doesn't affect me as much as it does seemingly affect people. Because I don't hear specific sounds, so probably when I hear music, I don't hear like the same thing you're probably listening to. There's just sounds that'll be missing for me, and that could be like I'm just like, man, it's been a minute since this person said anything, and like I've discovered that like I just don't hear certain pitches of people singing. So like I could listen to a song and just be like, yeah, they're not saying nothing, and they're screaming the whole time. It's a very crazy fucking. It messes my head up sometimes when I'm like, what the fuck. 3-2 now on Torres. Isn't that crazy? Like the example I like to give, for example, fire alarms. I only hear the following sound when I hear a firing alarm. So to me, this is what a fire alarm sounds like. That's it. Just that noise. That's the only noise I hear for a fire alarm. Everyone else says they make crazy noises, like all these whooping and hollerings, and I just hear and that's the noise I get. That's how I know a fire alarm is going off. I'm like, God damn it, that's a stupid noise, but I barely hear it. I don't know why everyone's acting like that's the worst noise ever. It's barely fucking a problem. Welcome to spring training, Phil. Sometimes neither team can hit the ball. Gleyber Torres walks here with 2 away. Now we have Scary Carry up. I'd like to see him hit a bomb right now. A nice carpet bomb. Yeah, having auditory problems is hilarious. I thought Becton just got signed to the Chargers. And pretend that there's dogs and pretend to sound my sister. Oh, that's cool, Laura. That's cute. You sound like a good brother. Marsh, Kennedy, and Turner due up. 8, 9, and 1 due up here in the bottom of the third. 2-0 Tigers lead. Bottom 3. Marsh, Kennedy, and Turner. Yeah, no worries. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, I thought he'd gone to the Chargers. Yeah, it would have made sense. I think the Lions really like that Christian Mahogany kid to play left guard. You hate them in school, makes your head hurt. Oh, fire alarms? Yeah, people always say that. You're an uncle? Oh, yeah, you did say your sister. I don't know why. I read that as baby sister, baby brother. My fault, Laura. Bill signed suspended 6 games for juicing. Yeah, you guys signed 2 cheaters already. Welcome to Buffalo, I suppose. Honest play isn't needed. Your head coach praises Al Qaeda. You've got Josh Allen, the flop king. Just honest play. Leave yourself at the door. That's why old Shoeless left. He couldn't take the cheating anymore. For shame, for shame. He wanted to come to an honest franchise like the New England Patriots where we do things correct in the right way. A team known and heralded for honest, good, hard play. A team that would rather lose than bend the rules. The rules are there for a reason, Phil. And your dirty franchise needs to start following the rules. Yeah, they might as well, Bat Boy. If they don't have him, they're out 40 million. Like, they're out 40 million anyway. You know what I mean? That'll be 0-2. That'll remain a strike. I doubt they're going to get that overturned. Jonathan, yeah. Well, pretty sure if the teams knew about the juicing, the contracts would be null and void, and the Bills can open that up. Yeah, I don't think they're going to do that. I think they're just fine with it. No one really cares about steroids. Not in football, anyway. No, I don't think any team actually gives a shit about that. It's like, oh, well, fucking... oh, well, we don't got to pay these guys for 6 games now. Damn, your sister has a lot of kids. That's cool though. But yeah, Phil, your team should get more like my franchise. A good, honest team. You know what's funny? I think historically the Bills have more cheating scandals than the Patriots. There used to be a site called yourteamcheats.com. I think it got taken down by Big NFL. Brandon Marsh has a base hit, one on, nobody out here to start the bottom of the third. And it would all like the Patriots were always like 17th because they've only cheated like 3 times. And if we were including Spygate for the Patriots, it's included for like 14 other teams that year because a lot of teams got in trouble for that shit that year. Because again, the rule change came out as a memo that you can't film in spot A. You have to film from spot B, C, or D now. And the Patriots said they never got the memo and filmed from spot A. That's literally Spygate, by the way. And a whole bunch of other teams, the Jets included, like the Bengals, Broncos, Cowboys, Giants, Eagles, Rams. Pretty much every fucking good team got in trouble for that. Because they all went, yeah, we're not going to follow that stupid fucking rule. And then they all didn't. And then they all got warned, hey, don't do that. And they said, oh, yeah, what will happen if we don't follow the rules? And then they went. By the way, the way that works is the same way it worked in baseball. You know how Houston went down for a sign stealing scandal? But like it's later come out that like 16, like half the league was also guilty of the same thing, especially the Yankees, Red Sox. Like literally the Red Sox got in a little bit of trouble for it too. Half the league was doing this. What happens is the team that has most recently won a championship gets a finger pointed at them like this. Just like this. They point it right in your face. They go, hey, you're the scapegoat. And that's why the Patriots were the scapegoat for Spygate. And that's why the Houston Astros were the scapegoat for the using cameras to steal signs scandal. That's how that works, by the way. If the Yankees had won that World Series, they would have been the same thing. It's the same fucking thing would have happened to them. It's literally just how these leagues work to cover up the fact that they have a problem that compromises league integrity, and they don't know how to like stop it without really fucking going hard. Like it's like there's this weird. Oh, and that's another base hit, runner to third. First and third, one away. Phillies are starting to cook a little bit. I don't know. For that kind of shit, why do you care about that? Question. McCaffrey's best back, yeah. Why does it matter what the players do when they're not on the field? Like, I don't care about any of that. Literally, if they're not beating up women and breaking the law, I don't care what players do outside of the field. And depending on what law and they get another base hit. Well, they're starting to tee off a little bit here on old Scoobs. One away, runners at first and second, 2-1 now after the single scored a run. Like it doesn't. None of that makes any difference to me. Not a single bit. If it bothers you that people film in the locker room, you know what you should do? Not watch that. It makes again if your athletes aren't beating up on their families, women, or out there very explicitly breaking law, who gives a shit what they do? I don't fucking care what Tom Brady does in his personal time now that he's retired. Literally, it does not bother me. The Tom Brady that I care about was a football player. You know what I mean? Like, it's. Everyone's like, what about when he left his wife? I'm like, silence. I don't care about anything to do with his personal life. That's none of my business. Don't care. He doesn't beat women. He's very good to his kids from everything I've read. Do not give a shit about his personal life. It's nobody's business. Keith, Baez, and McKinstry. Hell, the only reason I know anything about his personal life is because I did a book report on him when I was in 5th grade. Not like a book report, but like a presentation. Anyway, Keith, Baez, McKinstry, top of the fourth. It's 2-1 now. Phillies cut the lead in half after a base hit by Harper scored a run. I don't know. So I don't really care if players film and do social media stuff. Oftentimes, 100% of the time, they have full permission of the coach to be doing things like that. So, for example, the Lions are fine with people doing social media stuff in the locker room as long as they're not filming anyone naked, which that sometimes still happens. I don't think the Patriots care as long as it's after the post-game breakdown stuff. Like when people are getting changed and ready to leave the locker room, I think that's fine. I don't think there's a rule against that. Plus, we have like social media interns that run around and film people all the time anyway, so who cares? Like the teams hire these people out of colleges with these creepy degrees, being like, I'm really good at Twitter. That's like their whole career. I'm good at Instagram, Twitter, and Snapchat. So they let them run around as like weird members of like press, but not press, like special press, new press. What's that called? New media. The new media. That's what they're hired as, and that's what they do. They go around. You know all those fun videos you see teams have. Like, what's your favorite jelly bean when it's like National Jelly Bean Day or some stupid horse shit? That's what those jobs. That's an actual job that pays a lot of money, by the way. Like more money than you think it should pay. Yeah, I don't know why they named it that. It's a bad name. 0-2. That's why everyone still calls it Twitter. Again, it completes my name theory, by the way. People don't care if you change the name of something if it's a better name than what was changed, right? Hence why nobody cared when people were completely okay when they changed the Redskins. I know there were some people that were like weirdly initially mad, but when they were the football team, everybody was like, actually, that's kind of fucking cool, being called the Washington football team. Yeah, I mean, they hire like 19, 20-year-olds. Yeah, some of them have degrees, some of them don't. Some of them are like 24. It's all over the place. But Canada might be different. I have to do state report when I was in high school. That's fun. But like, no one really cared when the Redskins changed to the Washington football team. People were okay with that because they're like, all right, it's kind of a temporary thing. We can see. But when they chose the Commanders, that's when everybody said, all right, this name fucking sucks now. We want the old one back. The Guardians. Colt Keith has the leadoff single here. That's nice to see. Not many Cleveland fans like really give a fuck about changing the name back to Indians. Have you noticed that? You want to know why? Because Cleveland fans like the name Guardians. There's a whole thing about like them being the Guardian City. They picked a very good name that actually works, and the fans like being called the Cleveland Guardians. Like there's a little bit of like a blah, 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 but they also understand that their owners fuck them hard on that name. They'd still be the Indians if they just gotten rid of Wahoo like before that World Series. If they literally just had the C logo in like 2000, they'd still be the Cleveland Indians. But they somehow they might get Wahoo back as a throwback, and I'm like, okay, I don't know how they're gonna. They literally lost their team name over Wahoo, but all right. Oh, cool. Baez grounded into a double play. 2 down now after Baez kills 2 with 1 swing. Here's McKinstry. I'm like, how the hell are they going to give him back the logo that got the whole thing axed in the first place? Isn't that why they have to call themselves the Guardians? What a bunch of fucking idiots. If anything, they're one of the few teams that could actually probably get their mascot back or like their team name back. But they'd have to kind of work with some people and promise not to bring out the Wahoo shit again. Because that was the issue. And it's not just a recent thing for the Cleveland Guardians / Indians. That has been a controversy since at least the 1970s. By the way, there's been a native group that has protested the Cleveland Indians over Wahoo since like the 70s, 80s. And they've literally, the only thing they asked, they're like, listen, we don't care about anything really here. Can you please, like, you can keep all the, like, the native stuff. We like that. We think that's fine. We find it respectful. But, like, what the fuck is that? Can you do, like, I think they offered to make them a logo like the Blackhawks use, like the Redskins use. They're like, we'll make you a different logo. And like, they just wouldn't do it. They like refused to budge. It's like one of them stories that when you read it, you get very annoyed with Cleveland by the end of it. You're like, they've been nothing but nice to these fucking people the whole time. They're like, will you please change the logo? And they're like, fuck you. And it's like, yeah, you know what? Again, not many people know the full extent of this story. And when you read it and learn about just this Cleveland one, you go, yeah, you know what? The people that were asking were actually rather polite and very their demands weren't rough. Like it was literally like, can you guys not use that? It like bothers the shit out of us. And the stupid ass owners of that team were just adamant on saying no. And again, it's their right, but they could have avoided a whole lot of problems had they just like crafted themselves up a slightly cooler logo. I don't know. Denver Nuggets got a cool logo. Most teams are doing pretty good with logos. It's just Wahoo was crazy. I don't know why they just didn't go with like a cool fucking war chief. Like everyone else does. Or if you wanted to go with like a cartoon Indian, that probably could even work too. But like, make it less weird, like caricature-y. And they get Schwarber swinging here in the bottom of the fourth. Skubal dealing here with one away. Here's JT Realmuto, a guy Tigers fans really wanted a couple years ago. At least I did. Boy, oh boy, did I want JT Realmuto on Detroit. Maybe I guess we got Dylan Dingler, who could be pretty good. And we got Jake Rogers, who's a better defensive catcher than Realmuto, and he calls a better game. So ultimately, we do have a better catcher. Our catcher can't fucking hit. Like I don't know how to describe, like, right? Like, we have one of the best catchers in baseball, right? Like with Jake Rogers, the actual catching position, it's sort of hard to find a better, like, oh no, this, like, there are guys who are a little bit better, but we have one of the best catchers in baseball. As far as like blocking balls, calling game, framing is he's literally one of the, I think he's like rank 1 or 2 at framing. All the things you need a catcher to do. Jake Rogers is like throwing guys out. People just don't try to run on him either. He does so many things that make him one of the best catchers, but he also has a OPS of 510. That's my favorite thing about catchers in baseball. They're allowed to just hit like complete fucking horseshit if they can catch like Jake Rogers. It's like, yeah, he shouldn't be anywhere near the majors, but no one can really catch like him in the earth except like 3 other people, so he's here. And that's the reality of Jake Rogers. There are probably 4 or 5 better catchers on the entire planet than him. But there are probably guys that can hit 300 that'll never see the major leagues. They'll toil away in AAA. Yet here's Jake Rogers getting a hit once every 10 at bats, roughly. Pretty much half the time he's just out. You just can kind of be like, he's probably out. But then he has those days. Truly a fascinating player. A fascinating position, really. It's not really surprising that catchers wind up becoming managers, in like large part. 0-2 now. 2 away. And they strike out Nick Castellanos on a pitch. I don't know why he just he just got gassed. Dude, he just froze Nick Castellanos. See, that's what I mean by Scuball. You see what I mean? Hold on. You know how I said every so often Scuball gets really fired up? Damn it, it's not worth it's being gay. Every so often Scuball gets really fired up. Look at where this third pitch to Castellanos was literally right down the middle. And I always find that to be the funniest part of Scuball. When he gets one of these really good hitters 0-2, he will 100% just try to fire 100 miles an hour right down the middle. And it worked right there. He froze Nick Castellanos. Young, Rogers, and Perez do up here in the top half of the fifth inning. Tigers lead 2-1. Do. Yeah, Jake. He performs a lot better. Yeah, when Scuball's pitching, that's true. NBA is Warriors or Knicks. They got good logos. That's true. That's true. My favorite logos are the ones like the San Diego Padres, where within the SD and P there is like, you know how like they have the SD and P on their hat? There is a smaller SDP that is formed by like the way that they have their numbers and letters stacked on. I'll show you what I mean. For example, oh no, the way the S and the D lapped, it makes there's a P made. You know what I mean? The S and the D overlap just right to create the P. I think that's really cool. That's one of my favorite logos because of like, oh, cool, they have the San Diego Pot SDP with the way the D and the S overlap. That's what it was. I've always liked that about their logo. 2-0. And I've always liked the Mariners. I've always thought the Mariners had a really sweet logo. 2-1. Tigers have just an all-time classic logo, just an old English D. Very, very timeless. It's hard to just be like, yeah, we nailed it on the first try. What do you mean? That was our very first logo try, was the old English D. And we 100%ed that shit. The Tigers are one of the rare teams that, yeah, they've had like variations on their uniform, but ultimately the uniform they always go back to is the one that they've fucking made back when they first started. They're like, yeah, we'll just put a D on the front and that's it. We're good. And then D on the front of the hat, boom, Tigers. And then when we go away, we'll put Detroit or we'll put Tigers across the middle. And that's basically the way that their logos have always kind of looked, with some slight variation every so often. Yeah, Yankees have one of the best logos in sports. Jace Young strikes out one away. But the Tigers have probably one of the more classic uniforms in all sports because of like, there's a timelessness to it. It literally looks like their variation of their like the old English G on the front, the way that the just pure white button down with specific line stylings to match the time. It's literally like a perfect uniform. You could pop it into any era of baseball and it works. It's just like, yeah, that's a good logo. That's a good uniform. And that's not always the case for everybody. Sometimes teams wear like really odd colors or they have way too of the time designs. Yeah, the Tigers are just a classic, clean, any era of, you could black and white any of the Tigers, be like, damn, that looks great. Clean logo, clean design. They nailed it. They 100%ed it the first time they popped it in. And that's always something I appreciate, sort of a first draft masterpiece of sorts. Even if I didn't like the Tigers, I would think the same thing. I think Boston generally nailed it too, by the way. The Red Sox are another team that has basically worn the same basic uniform with a few variations every so often. But their main uniform is just the same as the Tigers, a B with, for Boston, I believe, right? No, it's a Boston across the chest is what they do now. The Yankees are another team that has basically stayed the exact same since they created the Cubs. Yeah, teams with the long-standing uniforms where they're just like, yeah, we nailed it. We don't have to change anything, and they generally haven't. Boston, New York, Tigers, Cubs have generally they go between a C and a Cub, like, but that's fine. Yeah, the Orioles, black and orange is odd. I'm surprised they didn't go with the purple color. Oh, but then they'd look like the Rockies. To be fair, there aren't too many color combos you can choose in baseball that aren't done where you wouldn't look like you're copying somebody. It'd be awful hard. And Perez lines out. That ends the inning. Well, he grounds out. Sorry. I misread that. Can't read. Bottom of the fifth coming up. It'll be Stott, Marsh, and Kennedy. Bottom of the fifth. 7-8-9. 2-1 Tigers. Damn, this game's going by quick. What are you all doing to chilling? Can't believe how ripped off my team got in free agency. I think there's a conspiracy against the Patriots. Why can't we have a wide receiver? You know? What is it? What are we doing? I don't want a lot. I literally just want one good receiver. Like, that's it. You know? Nobody has it harder than Patriots fans, I'm telling you guys. No one ever believes that either. Everyone's always like, oh, the Super Bowl. Not knowing that, like, you know, we've been bad for 5 years. Not many teams can relate to struggle for half a decade. We might have it the hardest in the NFL as fan base. No one cares that we're struggling. Everyone thinks it's kind of funny. They're like, oh, you guys deserve 100 bad years. It's like, what do we even do? We're not even. It's tough being hated. No one's got it worse than us. Not one team in the league can relate to the sorrow of the Patriots. I'm just kidding. Everybody would still like, you know what I mean? There's a reality of, if you look at the last 11 years, I have to make it 11 now. The Patriots have only been bad for about 5 of them. You would take 6 of those years because we also were a dynasty. It's like the craziest, like 10 years flip. Half the time we were one of the greatest teams ever. The other half, well, we've been bad. But I still believe that every other team in the NFL except the Chiefs and maybe the Eagles would trade places with us in a heartbeat. They'd take everything. They'd swap places with us right now. They'd be like, yeah, we'll just trade everything. That's fine. Just for the last 10 years. That's it. 11 years. We'll just swap 11-year histories. We have 3 Super Bowls now when we were a dynasty. Yep. Awesome. You know what I mean? Like, so that's the reality of that. It's fine. Eventually we'll be good again. 1-2. Like you said, we'll probably get Travis Hunter. If we don't, then we're fucked and everything will be terrible. 1-2. I don't mind trading back and getting like Armin Membu either. I don't mind that. I really like him. I don't know who that is. So yeah, especially if we draft him at the number 4 overall pick. I don't know who the fuck that is. Is that like a pitcher or a kicker or something? Bottom of the first. Stott has a base hit. We might wind up drafting a kicker later in the draft. We don't really have one. Yeah, the Eagles got a compensation pick over Mackay Becton. Eagles blew their whole team up. They do that after they win, though. They did it last time, and they got a whole bunch of compensation picks that they used to kind of build the team they have now. This is kind of like their strategy. Instead of paying guys, they let everybody go and get rid of them all, and then they get 4 compensation picks that they can use to kind of parlay into more picks. It's a decent strategy, but the Eagles typically do this. This is what they did after they won their last Super Bowl. They let like everybody go. Yeah, that's what somebody was saying. Yep. He gets a $4 million cap hit. Marsh has another hit. Runners at first and second, nobody out. Not great. No, we're not going to take a defensive tackle top 10. Nope. We just signed Milton Williams. There's zero reason to do that. If anybody, we're taking Abdul Carter, or we're going to take Travis Hunter, or we're going to trade the pick away and take Armin Membo a few picks back. Those are the 3 things that I think happen with the pick. Everything else I don't agree with. It's like one of 3 guys, with like order being they want Travis the most. They'll take fucking Abdul if he's sitting there. And if both of those are not an option, then they'll just probably send the pick back and take Armand. And if no one wants it, we'll just take Armand at number 4. We don't fucking care. Who gives a shit about draft value? It's just we just don't need a defensive tackle. You know what I mean? Not that early. When we just signed Milton Williams to a lot of money. Fuck the Eagles. They don't need nothing. 1-2. They could use a tight end, actually. Dallas Goedert's getting old, and I have no idea who their other tight end is. I think he's a pass blocking guy. Like more of a blocker. Oh, let's hope this is a double play from Kennedy. Nope, it was not. He flew out and the runner advanced. First and third, 1 away. Need a double play out of Turner, even though he's too quick to make that happen. But you never know. Shortstops and center fielders are kind of tough to double off, though. And they happen to have a center fielder and a shortstop as as like base runners potentially. You can get the guy at second, but I don't know if you'll be able to double up Turner. He's pretty quick. What place are Pats in? We'll be in first place this year when we win the Super Bowl. But I think we draft 3rd or 4th. I can't remember the exact spot. No, 4th. What does it go? The shitlords, the fucking Titans, Browns, Giants, Patriots. Is that the draft order? Or is it are we 3rd? We got the 3rd. No, there's no way we got the 3rd pick. We fucked that up by winning. What? How does that go? I forgot. I know it's Titans. Then I think it's Browns. God damn it, they scored a run. Let's hope it's a sack fly at least. Tie game on a sack fly by Turner. All right, runner stays put at first. So 2 away, runner at first. Oh shit, it's Bryce Harper. Oh shit, it's Cheaterson. I don't know, we were a pretty bad team last year though. We were one of the worst in the league. But if you haven't dropped a like yet, consider doing so. Help a lot of stream out here. Maybe get some more people in. Appreciate you if you have already. Thank you very kindly. We're 4th in the draft? Yeah, all right. I have the draft order right then. Don't know what we're going to do. Our pick depends on the people in front of us quite a bit. 0-2. Because again, the Patriots probably want... They seem to be hinting hard that they want fucking Travis Hunter. They pretty much view him as like the best receiver, best corner, and I think the best overall player in the draft. That or Abdul Carter is to them. It's one of those two. I'm guessing they think Hunter is. And they get Bryce Harper swinging. Wow, he actually struck him out. Top of the 6th coming on up. It'll be Green, Torres, and Carpenter. 2, 3, and 4 coming up here in the top half of the 6th inning. I have to take a piss. I'll be right back. One moment, please. Back and feeling relieved. By the way, just as a small, Jose Alvarado's in the pitch. As per usual, we stopped watching after the top of the 7th inning. This is a small reminder, because I don't much care for the shit parts of the game. However, if they keep the starters, then I'll keep watching. It's just like once I start seeing mass substitutions happening, I genuinely don't care to continue watching. More on a personal basis. I think Bengals are crazy if they think they will get one first round pick for Henderson. He's good, but you need to sign. Well, yeah, he's going to be $35 million to extend him, and he's like 30 plus years. I think he's quite old too. Like he's not like a young cat or anything like that. Unintended. A pretty funny guy. Top 3 talker of jokes and mirth. Either way, Green versus Alvarado. Call it strike 1. I was wondering when the pitches were going to come. Did he throw 100 miles an hour? Sheesh. That was 101.4 miles an hour, basically 102. But 101 officially. You don't round up. You just kind of... Jesus, 102. He threw it a whole mile an hour faster. 102.4. Oh my God, dude. Who is this motherfucker? He just come in the game and goes, yeah. Just firing fireballs in there. Good Lord. And then his curveball is 88 miles an hour. Ball 1, though. Phillies be one of the best teams in the MLB. Again, only to fold in the playoffs. Again. Yeah, that's a Dave Dombrowski team for you, I would say. Riley Green strikes out 1 away. Henderson is 30. He's a little bit older for a defensive end. He's got like 5 good years left, so that's not the big problem then. Someone will trade for. He'll eventually be traded for because the combo of Higgins and Chase is expected to be right around $70 million a year. And with Burrow getting what, 50, 60, like that's like nearly a half your cap wrapped up in 3 guys. So Henderson's out. So we'll see where he goes. Ball 1. Unless they just pay 5 guys most of the money, which would be pretty fucking hilarious to do. Or 4 guys most of the money. Called strike. 1-1 here on Torres with 1 away. You will turn 30 on December 2nd. Nice, Lore. Happy very early birthday. You're going to be very old. Called strike 2. Lions and Tigers, Phillies, other. Similar teams in two different sports. Lions are one of the best regular season teams, only to fold. Well, to be fair to the Lions, I was gonna say that's kind of not fair to Detroit. It's last year or 2 years ago, I would say they had a choke in that game. Sure. Last year, I don't know if that's fair. Because again, normally I don't like injury excuses. However, like 13 starters out, and by the end of that game, the fact that the only starter left was like one fucking defensive back, it's like that's insurmountable, man. I think probably late second round pick, or you can get him for a multitude of picks, and like the right amount, the right package of picks will entice Cincinnati. They'll have to give up on that first, though. He's a little too old and a little too expensive to generate a first. 1-1 here on Carpenter with 2 away. I think the injuries were too many, and I think they were and they kept happening at the edge position. Like that was like a weird thing that kept happening. Like they'd have an edge rusher step up and be like pretty good, then he'd get hurt immediately. It's just one of those things where and again, if you watch that Washington game, by the end of it, like Amik Robertson, like the first play of that game versus Washington, Amik Robertson broke his arm. Like, oh, that's like cursed. After Amik Robertson, 2 weeks ago, it shut down Justin Jefferson. Do you see what I'm saying? Like that was they were cursed. I don't even know what to call that. That was the craziest shit I've ever seen happen to a defense. Carlton Davis broke his fucking jaw somehow. Did like the play, like he like didn't even get touched in the head. He got like blocked like that and his jaw broke. I'm not kidding. Baseball. I think when you see a team is able to become a dynasty, that I don't think that means, I think it's a lot easier to win that sports championship. But again, I think that it's hard to compare because of length of season. I think it's much harder to win a championship in football or baseball. You don't see a lot of back-to-backs or dynasties pop up in baseball. They're exceedingly rare in baseball. Whereas in football, like there's been a dynasty going back to the 70s. Like every 10 years, there's like a dynasty that pops up. It seems like when a team figures out it, like if you can figure out what the meta of the league is and get ahead of it by just a little bit, you can win a championship and kind of win a couple of them before everyone can catch up to where you're at. Because again, once you get ahead of the league, everybody catches up to you, but you already know how to deal with what they're doing. So you should theoretically be able to kind of stay 2 steps ahead of them for a couple years. That's how the Patriots operated, by the way. The Patriots dynasty could be best described as the Patriots figured something out that no one else knew how to do. And then they did that for a year or two, and then the league would catch up to it. However, like now that the rest of the league is doing that thing the Patriots were doing to win, the Patriots one time have this weird ability to perfectly defend everything or like attack it offensively or attack it defensively that they were doing that everybody copied. So the Patriots win that 3rd Super Bowl often because they just sort of have these smarts and the league is kind of copying the thing they did and the Patriots know how to stop it to some extent. It's this very weird copy game that's going on. And I think that's how football tends to work. And that's why you see a team rise to a dynasty. The Chiefs figure something out. And I think the league is starting to figure out what it was. And it was Mahomes taking advantage of blitzing. I think there was something so fundamentally broken about blitzing in the NFL that if you were able to like spot what it was, and again, that's like sacrificing your safeties usually. Teams don't do that now because of the Mahomes effect. Teams are starting to like not blitz anymore as hard. They're just rushing for. That's why there's like a large emphasis on defensive line building right now. And again, Mahomes and the Chiefs have this 1 year now where they theoretically should be ahead of this. If Andy Reid is as good a coach as people like to pretend he is, he will have a year where they should be able to get a Super Bowl this year. And then it might be a minute. Like this is probably this is a good shot for them because again, the league is sort of kind of sniffed them out now. However, they have one possible pivot because they should know how to deal with a defensive line that doesn't blitz. That should be like in their back pocket. Like they should have the thing that like they've been doing. Like it's hard to describe. They should have the defense and the answer for the lack of blitzing in their back pocket now. Like if they have some crazy responses here to the fact that nobody's blitzing them, that means that they have successfully kind of done the thing I'm talking about. But if they kind of just fall back into their own old sad ways, then they just ended. But that to me is a way forward for So to a long answer short, I think it's a lot harder to win a championship in baseball. Based on the fact that there's always a random ass team winning it every year. 1-0. 1-1. Not really. No, most calls are a wash. Most calls in a game are a wash. I don't think you're hating. There's a bad perception of officiating because of sports betting. But 90% of the time, bad calls end in a wash. Like both teams get like 2 or 3 bad calls a game. It's just like that's just how it works out. No, I don't think officiating takes much into it, unless the league is blatantly rigged. Then of course it does. 1-2. No, if the NFL was rigging itself or trying to make certain things happen or not happen, the NFL would have a drastically different history. Peyton Manning would have the 7-3 Super Bowl record, not Tom Brady. That's all I'm going to say about that. 1-2. That'll be a base hit for Bohm here in the bottom of the 6th. Hannafy is a pitcher for the Tigers. No, but I don't think officials do. There's like one team in the league that can be like the officials fucked us, and that's pretty much the Detroit Lions. A lot of the weird rules in the NFL right now are like specifically because the Lions got fucked. It's just like the catch rule is literally because the Lions had a historic comeback happen against the Bears and the league went, fuck that. And that's it. That's literally the genesis of the catch problem. Is the Lions won a game, or we're going to win a game on a historic comeback and the league went, fuck that. No, they actually underperformed in the Super Bowl because their offensive line played bad and the Eagles ran a very good defensive game plan. Also, they underperformed because the Chiefs very, very stupidly ran their short little screen offense, despite the Eagles being the number 1 screen defense. Like, short little offenses that depend on yak. The Eagles are the number 1 team by like an aggressive amount at shutting that offense down. The Chiefs are the number 1 offense at that. That's the only offense they seemingly run is the short completion yak shit. It was always meant to be a disaster. The Chiefs did not have the offense to compete against the Eagles defense. It was just kind of like the thing the Eagles do well on defense is exactly what the Chiefs do well on offense. It was because Andy Reid's a dumb, bad coach and didn't change the offense up. That was inevitable. Yeah, he fucked up. Yeah, that's Andy Reid's fault. They lost that Super Bowl almost solely because of Andy Reid, in my opinion. They got outcoached by a brutal amount. That was literally like the only thing I was talking about in that week was like, yeah, there's no way the Chiefs are just not going to change their offense. Because again, that was the thing I was most worried. I was like, dude, the number 1 thing the Eagles do is play the Chiefs style of offense better than everybody in the league. That's like their defense is shit. They love defending that kind of offense. And I figured Sirianni was going to have them prepare for that offense no matter what, because he's not a very good coach. Apparently he made the right call. What kind of stupid fucking coach doesn't change their offense when they know the defense they're playing is specifically designed to stop that offense, their offense? It's almost like the Eagles designed a fucking defense specifically to beat the Chiefs one day, and they did. Because they know Andy Reid's stupid and doesn't change his shit up. He just does the same thing because he's not a very good coach. He just happened to run fucking ass backwards into Mahomes. And they walked Real Muto, 2 on, 1 out. 2-2 game, bottom of the 6th. Genuinely, it was walking ass backwards into a fucking phenomenal player that saved Andy Reid. Before Mahomes showed up, Andy Reid was one of the greatest choking retards of all time. Terrible clock. By the way, he's terrible with clock management. To this day, he does not know how to use the clock. Doesn't know how to use his timeouts. But he's just a really good play caller. That's Andy Reid. Elite play caller. Very, very good at designing offensive plays. But he's not a very good head coach. 0-1. And by the way, his creativity as a coach is the thing that wins his teams a lot of games. And he's also weirdly good with players to the point where they feel comfortable breaking all the laws as a member of his team. Oh, a double play. Great job. Nick Castellanos grounds out for us. Oh, yeah. Nice little double play there. Let's go to the top of the 7th. By the way, the top of the 7th is usually where I check out of games. I'll watch through the inning. The Tigers' last at bat here, and then we'll probably be getting going. Especially if somebody gets a hit and they start pulling them. Baseball is my favorite. Football is my second. Nope. No, I have a clear ranking. I don't care about the other ones, really. They all kind of are about the same after that. But baseball 1, football 2. Football, I'm more passionate about. Baseball, I just think is a better game. It's just a way better game, fundamentally. Like, baseball players to me are way cooler than football players. Like, damn, you play the fucking hardest sport on earth, baseball. And to me, I'll never not think it's the hardest sport. You can't tell me that there's something harder than playing professional baseball. I promise you, if you asked every single professional athlete what sport they would say, they'd probably all say baseball. Number one, you make the best money. Used to be a huge boxing fan when you were younger. The older I kind of lost the love. Yeah, that's part of the reason I don't like combat sports. I mean, they make a decent amount of money. Some of them do, but yeah, I don't know. And there's really no treatment or help for some of these guys after. They just kind of are left to go crazy and kind of die. Like Mike Tyson's lucky he was a very likable guy and people wanted to help him out. After he went broke, like a lot of people like him just kind of usually wallow away into drugs and shit. But man, remember crazy old Mike? It's like, yeah, the guy that got punched in the head a whole bunch and had problems later on. Yeah, that's crazy. Killed Max Kellerman's brother. I think so. Romano's into pitch, though, with Keith, Baez, and McKinstry. This is also the last half inning I'm watching, by the way. I always leave in after the top of the 7th. Or whenever if the Tigers are the home team, we leave after the bottom of the 6th. So I don't care to watch backups. And Colt Keith grounds out, 1 away. Jesus. I'll have to look up the story. I swear I've heard of this, though. I'll have to look it up. I swear I've heard this, but I don't. Maybe I haven't. I know he had a brother who got killed. Like, I know that. Like, that's something I know about. I don't think I knew the specifics, though. Maybe? Why do I not? Are you fucking with me? 1-1. I'll just look into it after the stream. Baez gets hit by a pitch, 1 on, 1 out. Here's McKinstry. It's going to be tough for the Niners going against Kellen Moore offense. Yeah, he's tough. Jake Paul beat Mike. Yeah, they had the boxing fight. Boxer James Butler, known as the Harlem Hammer, pled guilty to voluntary manslaughter and arson in Kellerman's death, and was sentenced to damn. That's kind of ironic considering that like Max Kellerman is like a boxing guy. Like that's how he sort of rose through the ranks in sports media. Was his boxing and fighting combat sport. Was he targeted? Because of Kellerman's like association with the sport? I wonder if the guy was going after Max and kind of got the wrong Kellerman. That could have happened. It's not impossible. Riley Unruh is... Oh, yeah, they're going to start fucking replacing people. He was a rapper with his brother, too. Sam Kellerman gave Butler a home to live in. They were friends. Oh, okay. Damn. Yeah, it just sounds like somebody kind of lost their mind. So it's a 1-2 count. Unruh steals second. 1 away. 2-2 game. Top of the 7th. Well, yeah, he probably still does rap stuff, and he probably was still rapping while he was starting off his what was it, sports journalism, covering boxing, which is why I've always said he's not very good at like most of the sports he covers. What's up, Bernard? Detroit has 1 away. It's top 7, 1 out, 1-2 count here on Zach McKinstry. Runner at second. Romano, the pitcher. The runner is Unruh at second. Go ahead runners, getting closer. And Green strikes out. Or McKinstry strikes out 2 away. Here's Jace Young. By the way, this will be the last half inning that I'm watching, so I'm going to be taking off after this. I don't like watching spring training games super late. It's just like a personal policy. Swinging strike 1 on Young. Hey, good luck. This game could end in a tie. Kind of starting to shape up that way. Offense has been kind of limited today. I do appreciate everyone hanging out, watching, leaving likes and all that. Good looking out. 0-2. And he fouls the pitch away. It'll remain 0-2. Runner at second. 2 down here. Top 7 of a 2-2 game. Another fun little spring training affair. And again, it was a fun chat with everybody this afternoon. Hopefully you found some entertainment. Yeah, I'll be leaving pretty quick here, it looks like, unless Young gets a hit. Hey, ball 1. There we go. Well, this was a good hour, 40-minute stream, basically. Just a little bit short. Hour 35. I don't know. He might be. I don't know. I don't really care about the Jake Paul stuff. I think it's funny that people get really upset by that guy. So I pretend to be like a big fan. I don't think it's fun. I think it's funny. Yeah, I mean, he's a showman, sure. I'm surprised he just doesn't go to the WWE like his brother. But I don't know. Seems to like boxing, and I don't know, he's getting a lot of these older guys paid a lot of money. I don't know. I don't really see anything wrong with what he's doing. Seems like a lot of these older guys don't mind to lose either to get the fucking checks that he's been getting them. So I don't know. He's kind of a douche. No, I don't think he's a great fighter. He's pretty solid though. He seems to know what he's doing. If he wasn't fucking giving people massive pay cuts, would he be winning? Probably not. But I don't know. You got to remember, like those two boys are like 6'4" and 6'5", right? 6'3", 6'2". Like they're anywhere from 6'2" to 6'4" in that general range, and they're both like 220 pounds. So they're massive young. Like those are massive dudes from like Hickville, Ohio. They're probably strong as dog shit. You know what I mean? Yeah, only 6'1". What, 6'1", 230 pounds of solid muscle? Yeah, only. Damn, only 6'1". Only like the perfect fight to play most every single sport except professional basketball. It's like prototypical height for almost every single sport. Yeah, I'm the same height. I'm like 5'9", 5'10", somewhere in that range. See what I mean? Like he's a big guy, just like his brother's huge too. Those are big kids, fucking strong as shit, and they're from Hickville, Ohio. Those are strong kids. It probably sucks to deal with. But you're right though. I think they're more showmen. Let's see. Tomorrow I'll be live again for the Tigers. No, I've never heard of that. I mean, that happens though. The Tigers play the Orioles tomorrow at 1:00. No, I haven't heard of it. I'll look into it. There was one guy that had like 3 ladies locked up in his house somewhere in Ohio. And like he escaped, he was near death. Damn. When you come, if you had some people chained up, like before I go, like think about it. What, and like, you know, you knew like at some point you're going to get in big trouble for this. How scared are you when you come home and like they're gone? And like just like a broken open window is all that remains of the evidence. It's like, oh fuck. Like, cause you know they're going to go tell. Like there's no shot you're getting away with it. I'd probably shoot myself. I'd be like, you know what? I'm not even going to deal with this. I'm just going to die. I'm going to shoot it out with 5-0. I think that's how I'd have to. I don't know how I'd do. I don't know how I'd respond. Would you just go turn yourself? I guess I'd just turn myself in. Like, damn it. Because you know, there's zero shot you're going to not be in prison by the end of the week. If you try to not, you know, just end it. Because no one's going to be chill about, no matter, even if like the kid was bad and like stepped on your grass, stole your newspaper one time, like, well, very punishable by death things. Touched your property. No one will be on your side, generally. Even if you kept your captive in great shape. That's who I'm thinking of, Ariel Castro. And like, wasn't there like not? It wasn't just Amanda Berry. It was like 3 other people in that bitch though, and they got out, and he was like, "Damn it." That's who I'm thinking of, because I think that was his response after he got caught. He was like, "Yeah, I'm not gonna deal with the fucking ramifications of this." Why would you? Everyone's like, that's probably the right move by that guy. Why'd he do it? I don't know. He's a weird guy who just wanted captives. But again, the idea of someone being in perfect shape, they're just a captive. Yeah, I gained like 30 pounds in captivity. They let me exercise. It was computers all day. I got to play computer games. Never online, but just, got to play games. Wasn't so bad, just weird. Was he abusive? Other than keeping us chained up, not necessarily. No, it was not so bad. Like it might be Stockholm syndrome, but no, he never like physically hit anybody. He just kind of just kept us locked up in chains, Yeah, the Charles Ramsey was the one who figured it out. His famous thing of, I knew there was something wrong when a white woman came up. Genuinely a hilarious response to have. Be like, oh no. Why does this scare white lady run into me? A very funny interview. All right, everybody, I'm out of here. Thank you so much for your time this afternoon. We'll be live again tomorrow for the Tigers and Orioles game. Should be pretty fun. Always fun to play Baltimore as we inch closer and closer to the start of the regular season. Thank you so much for a fun stream, everybody. Hopefully you all have a great rest of your afternoon. As always, it's go Lions, go Patriots, and of course, it's always go Tigers. And peace out. Bye-bye. Have a great afternoon.